Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am sharing my wash day video, my wash day routine for my MICROLOCs. This clip was actually filmed several months ago. You can see my MICROLOCs were a lot shorter. If you follow me on Instagram, you can probably see how much they've grown. And I had my playlist set because a wash day is a meditative process. It's part of my self-care routine, and then we get started. So I had a watch with me to time how long it takes me. I had some bands to section off my hair, and then we get right into braiding and banding. So braiding and banding is very straightforward. You take off a manageable section. Usually I try to follow my grid so that it's a lot neater, but I didn't really do that here. But so I leave about half an inch at the base and then start to braid down the length of my hair. So when I have little locks like the ones at the back of my hair, I'll just tuck them in so that they're a part of the braid. And then when I get to about maybe a third left, I will switch over to twisting because that's easier for the ends, both for putting the braids in and for taking them down. And then I will take one of my bands. You can get a pack of hair bands from anywhere, online or at a beauty supply store. Fold the ends and then band them, and that's it. Pretty straightforward. And that's one down. I think I had maybe 17 or 18 braids in total this day. So that's braiding and banding. Pretty straightforward. What I like to do is leave, as I mentioned, about half an inch to an inch at the base, and this is usually because I want to have it loose at the base so that I have good access to my scalp and I can actually go under there with my shampoo. It's also that first 1 inch to half an inch where any of the buildup, any of the dirt, any of the oil tends to run down the length of my hair and I can properly wash it out. What you're seeing me doing here is separating the first 2-3 rows of my hairline. I found that when it comes to washing my hair, if I braid and band my hairline with the rest of my braids, it tends to be quite strenuous on the hairline because I have much finer hair there, but also it's a bit more difficult to actually wash off the build-up properly. So I like to have that kept separate. So as you can see here, that's half of my hair done. When your MICROLOCs, your tiny locks are shorter, you'll probably have to do smaller braids for them to realistically sit well. But as your locks get longer, as they grow, you can get away with fewer braids, and they should be able to hold fine. The braids were fairly tight. I don't always make them as tight. You want them to be loose enough, again, to let shampoo run through, to let water run through, but the main part of it that needs to have that gap is at the base. So why do we braid and band? Braiding and banding is an important technique that I think particularly within the sister lock community is highly encouraged, and the idea here is to maintain uniformity of the locks, to keep the locks straight, to minimize creating any weak points or gaps in the locks, and this just reduces the risk of any damage and maintains the integrity of the locks. So you'll find that if you're struggling with the evenness of your locks, maybe you're finding that the base is thin and then they get thick towards the ends, or vice versa, it might be that you need to braid and band, and you need to try and braid and band for as long as possible. Usually it's recommended that you braid and band until your locks mature, and with tiny locks, with MICROLOCs and sister locks, that can take anywhere from 1 to 2 years, sometimes even longer. But also, if you're not too sure when to stop braiding and banding, always consult your loctician they will give you a good idea of when you're ready to stop. So as you can see, what I've done at the front, I just braided and banded them and put them together. Sometimes I don't even twist them at the ends. And braiding and banding on this day while I was filming took me about 17 minutes 40 seconds, which is not bad. Generally, I'll be doing it from bed, watching something. It'll take me 10-15 minutes, and it's the bulk of my wash day. When I get into the shower, I'm just ready to go. So what you see me doing there is just diluting my shampoo, and that's really not just to use the applicator bottle, because I found that would be easy for me when I was accessing my scalp. I don't really dilute my shampoo anymore, and honestly, ideally I would just have a shampoo bottle that has an applicator tip, and that would make life a lot easier. But that's where we are. So when I get into the shower, as you can see, I drench my hair in water. If you're struggling with getting your shampoo to lather, with getting rid of buildup, you want to make sure that your hair is absolutely drenched before you apply the shampoo. And as you can see, the Sisterlocks shampoo in particular really stings the eyes and it doesn't lather as much. And I found that with my MICROLOCs, I really enjoy the satisfaction of this shampoo lathering up, though it's not something I used to care about much when I had open hair. So this is me afterwards. I tend to go in with a shampoo 3 times until I feel like it's fully stripped. There's no buildup, and you just know when your locks are super clean. Make sure to also rinse out all the shampoo completely. The playlist was hitting on this fine day. I was having the time of my life. So next we have the microfiber towel. You know me, I don't use regular towels to dry my hair. Microfiber towels are gentler on your hair strands and they just minimize any sort of damage on them. So I'll first try to squeeze out as much of the water in the hair as possible, and then you'll see me fumble figuring out how to tie this, but I eventually it kind of flops over, but we make it work. So I'll sit under the microfiber towel for a couple of hours until at least it's mostly dry, and then I let it air dry until it's 100% dry. Now when it comes to drying the hair, ideally you want to make sure your hair is 100% dry before you take down the braids, and that's because generally if you take them down when your hair is still damp, it'll be super frizzy, but also when they're fully dry, they really sit into the braid out shape. They look better, they style better. And then also another thing is you want to make sure that you're not trying to manipulate your hair when it's still damp. You also do not want to wear your hair out when it's damp, because that damp environment is a great place for bacteria and buildup to grow. So this is me the following day with all the braids fully taken down and moisturized. So I'll share my moisture routine in a different video, but that's my wash day routine. It's very simple, obviously a lot simpler and faster than when I had my open hair. And so if you have any questions, drop them down below. Always remember that your hair is your crown and your body is a temple. Embrace it, love it, and take care of it. Bye.